Good evening, gentlemen, and welcome back to the Sea of Thieves, the game that's all about plundering, making copious amounts of cash, and playing to the point where your brain cells are in the negatives. I'm here to talk about a certain experience and my story of debauchery, madness, and anger in the limited time event called Sea of Thieves Community Day. Community Day is an event that happens around every 3 months, and it's the best way of making so much money you're in the same tax bracket of, say, Scrooge McDuck. But how? Well, every Community Day is slightly different, but they all share a similar aspect: gold and reputation multipliers. So money and experience can be upped as much as 2.5 times. It's your ticket to getting so much gold you'll overtake the GDP of a small island country. But Community Day isn't only about money. Well, okay. Community Day is mostly about money, but it's also about the community. You'll find people shooting fireworks and people wanting an alliance something much more prevalent during Community Day than regular Sea of Thieves. It's also a day everybody's on the grind. Since selling things are worth 2.5 times more, you want to be selling literal shiploads of goods. And since you get bonus reputation, leveling up trading companies will never be easier. Because trust me fellas, nothing flatters a gal more than reputation level 75 in Merchants Alliance. So with all that said, starting off Community Day, my goal was to get to level 75 in Merchants Alliance. I was playing solo at the time, and not knowing if my homies were ever going to hop on, I was just doing the most grueling and boring tasks, like Merchants Alliance. God, I hate Merchants Alliance. I'm pretty sure it counts as torture under the Geneva Convention, but you know, tomato tomato, Geneva Convention, Geneva suggestion. After a bit of running supplies, I spotted a Reaper 5 emissary on the map, doing the Skeleton Fleet event. And usually in Sea of Thieves, a Reaper's grade 5 is bad news bears, but in the search of making oodles of cash with a server alliance, and in the spirit of Community Day, I thought, okay. Turning towards the galleon was already tricky enough, seeing that I'm not the best at Sea of Thieves, and I was solo slooping. But don't forget, there was still a storm and a fleet event between us. So, after braving the storm and this happening... Holy shit! What the fuck? I eventually pulled up to the galleon, and to my surprise, they didn't immediately light me up.
Hello!
Hey there!
I'm an ambassador from the galleon.
I explained that I was doing merchant voyages, and I was hoping for a server alliance, and to my luck, they were also cool with that. All they asked is I helped clean up the rest of the skelly ships, because they were collecting ritual skulls to grind the Fort of the Damned. So I went around looking for skelly ships, and I found myself into full broadside with a skelly galleon, which, if you didn't know, is not the kind of circumstance you want to be in when you're solo slooping.
Bro, you know what happened last time, just drive careful, please!
So after I nearly escaped death's cold hands, I came back to the galleon. In a gesture of kindness, they put all their merchant's loot on my boat to get me to emissary grade 5. Very cool. Thank you, galleon. After a little more chatting, I sailed off to go make some cash and agreeing to reconvene at the Fort of the Damned to help them kill the Ghost of Gravemarrow. This guy right here. With an alliance formed and some goods to sell, I stopped at 2 outposts, finally getting myself merchants level 75. Let's go! Let's go! Now I had a new task: get ritual skulls and make some money. The first step was to get a ritual skull quest from Lorena. This girl right here. So I dug that skull up and went onward in search of more and more ritual skulls. If you didn't know, each skull grants 1 run at the Fort of the Damned. Each Fort of the Damned grants around 300k. So more skulls, more money, Spider-Man. I spent a lot of this time lollygagging around the Sea of Thieves. I sunk a skelly sloop that was rather, immobile. I defeated a kraken. More people joined the server alliance. I met some of them. They were rather, interesting. And eventually, I met back up with the original galleon that was struggling to dig up this pop-up plunder that appeared. And after some discussion and, heartfelt deliberation, I hopped on an Xbox call with my new best buds, and we sailed off to go get through the Fort of the Damned. But not before realizing that those, interesting players left the server alliance, sold all their treasure, and then got off the server. Some real goober activity, if you ask me. Finally, we made it to the Fort of the Damned. Before we started it, we made some preparations like lighting all the flames and putting all the kegs on the keg wall, which I didn't know about until then. But before we could really start digging into the 20 ritual skulls, we spotted a boat on the horizon.
Oh, there's another sloop! There's another sloop!
Little did we know it, this little boat would be the bane of our existence. The wet to the socks, the crunchy to the peanut butter. Yeah, I said it. The slimy to the... well, anything. Basically, the stupid sloop and its stupid, ever-expanding crew sucked mad balls. So, for the next, I don't know how many hours, consisted of the galleon's crew doing the Fort of the Damned, and me and some other ships from brigantines to a veritable army of sloops chasing down the green-sailed sloop. Now at this point, I've been solo slooping for 4-ish hours, and my brain more closely resembled a meat stew than anything that could form a coherent thought. So let's just say because of my gaming-induced lobotomy, I had a propensity to ramming and brain-dead tactics and a lot of sinking. Now, after a long game of cat and mouse, we finally sunk the sloop.
They're done! They sunk!
Let's go! We thought, now we could finally rest, right? Right? Anyways, the galleon was running out of food, so I elected to go grab some food at the Phantom Fortress. And as I was pulling in, I met somebody, familiar.
I think it's time to like determine.
There's a sloop at the fortress.
You're kidding.
No.
Is it them?
It's them! I'm gonna sink them!
Oh, how foolish. I was.
I kegged their boat.
And then the spawn camping started, where every time I came back to my ship, I would almost immediately get double gunned to death. At this point you may think, surely the play is to scuttle and come back and try to sink them, but no, contraire mon ami. Every time they killed me was just a bit more time the galleon spent getting the Fort of the Damned done, and a bit more time the galleon got closer to selling. That's me being a team player right there. And here's something you should know about me. I love fun facts, and I know a shit ton of them. So the plan became, how many other fun facts and audible junk can I bombard them with to the point where they got mad and sunk me?
Yeah.
I like the ocean, but I do find the ocean scary. What area do I fall in?
For me, this was the highlight of my community day. The fun of bothering an annoying crew that doesn't have a life, while at the same time making some cash is unparalleled. But sadly, all good things must come to an end. And after a while, the sloop realized their efforts of trying to make me mauled off the server were fruitless. So eventually they sunk my fine vessel, and went on to try to engage the galleon in naval battle. And guess what? Oh, we sunk them, but not before spawn camping them. Although I didn't quite partake in the actual spawn camping, it was still nice to see them get a dose of their own medicine. But eventually, in the pursuit of some more dollary dues, we sunk them fully and headed back to the Fort of the Damned to hopefully get some more cash before the green-sailed sloop came back. And came back it did. After half of a completion of the Fort of the Damned, the sloop, which was kind of just sitting around, dropped sails and just started to bombard both me and the galleon. And I don't know, man, at this point I was tired. I had been on for like 8 to 9 hours. I had sunk and sunk and sunk so many times I couldn't count, and I was just so done and demoralized. Remember 4-hour brain soup, definitely me? Well, at this point, I was full ice pick lobotomy. Don't look that up. Don't look that up. But I was ice pick lobotomy, definitely me. So, we fought, and of course, I sank, and when I came back, the unthinkable and somewhat inevitable happened.
Mission changed. We have sunk.
Are you serious? You're fucking kidding me.
And I mean, it was always kind of going to happen. With the sloop's infinite pirates that were full of energy and our crew's exhaustion, it was only a matter of time before they sunk for the first time. But don't worry, the galleon could come back, sink the sloop easily, get all of our loot supplies, cursed cannonballs back, and they left. The whole galleon crew. Gone. They left. I only had time to say goodbye to one of them before they left too. And I mean, I'm not mad. I'm irritated, sure, but it was loads of fun playing with the galleon crew. We made some money, did a couple Forts of the Damned, sank some ships, and I'm not going to complain that they got off. But I do think if we went for one more run, we would have made it. I only made like 300k, but I'm sure I'd play later in the Community Day weekend. With some buds, we would make millions. Right? Right? I didn't play for the rest of the Community Day weekend. I hope you enjoyed my little delve into the Sea of Thieves Community Day experience. I was trying something new, not doing a video solely on a game, rather doing it on an experience, and I think it worked out. I hope it worked out. But anyways, that's about all I got for now. I'm hoping to start to crank out some more videos soon because I've gotten way more shenanigans on and off the Sea of Thieves. I do try to stream some of my shenanigans on Twitch, so if you ever want to see some more of my idiocracy or goober maneuvers, you can find me over there. And yeah, go do some more deplorable things on the Sea of Thieves for me. I will catch you later.